I was seeing Rama Setu right in front of me.
You can see Ram Setu?
Yes, to the naked eyes, you can see Rama Setu.
It's there physically.
It's there physically, yes.
Kya baat?
It was 1:30 a.m. midnight. I took up the decision that I'll go to the trek.
Directly.
After 90 kilometers, I was like, let's go.
You
Yeah, I don't want to return back. I called my friends. I told them, go break the lock of my house, rob away everything. I literally asked them, rob away everything. I don't need anything.
जो चाहिए ले लो.
जो चाहिए ले लो, ले जाओ सारा. मुझे कुछ नहीं चाहिए. I'm never returning back. Go to Dhanushkodi. It is better than Maldives.
Modi ji.
Yeah.
How did you make that leap of faith? You have traveled across the entire nation, hitchhiking for free.
So for me, it was definitely a surprise to cross the boundary of my nation, and that too without money.
Oh, penniless.
Penniless.
Just so I'm getting this right, you went to another country without having anything in your pocket, without any plans, just to like discover.
Yeah, just to say hi to the nation.
Guys, who doesn't like traveling? Like, imagine a world where you could just travel for free for a year straight across the nation. Well, we have Rajat with us here today, who has traveled across the entire nation, hitchhiking for free, and he's done a lot of cool things. But I want to start this show with, how did it all start? Like, how did you make that leap of faith? Like, how did it all start?
First of all, thank you, Namaskar, for having me here with you.
Pleasure.
And so, it's always a journey of life that we're leading, and someday we are going to all die. That's a reality.
And everyone we know is also gonna.
Of course. And, everybody we know is somehow, a history for us today. We read them, we try and get inspired by them. But in this journey of life, it is very easy to be said that ये 4 दिन की जिंदगानी है. But trust me, ये 4 दिन ना actually बहुत लंबे होते हैं. You get a lot of good and bad days, and somehow you get diverged or directed to a direction that teaches you a lot of things. And I think the journey of my life took me to the travel, and that's how it started.
Crazy. So, can you give the audience a bit more about how has your journey been so far? क्या क्या कर चुके हो? Like, how has it been so far? Like, whether it's hitchhiking and even life before that, before we get to even all of that, how were you like growing up, and like how was the life before and after?
A lot of questions. If I cut short and you just give you an answer quick, it would be like, I was born in Ayodhya, ekdam susanskari, traditional kind of a family. And then I was some 7-8 years old when I was transferred here in Mumbai.
Okay.
Things just changed. From me being Namaskar, kaise hai aap? Tu kya bol di babai? Kaisa bachane lena? So life has changed, And me to adapt into this kind of an environment was really competitive for me. And yes, I adapted to that competitive environment, and that speed and rush that I gained during this course of time gradually helped me to learn and become a little more faster than the other people who were there around me. I used to feel, very, very uneasy. I used to always feel the kind of energy that I have got, is me, a sword, is getting used to cut nails, like literally. Always. And this lockdown, damn, it was killing me from inside. I was never a person who would ever want to stay home, packed in 4 walls. Never, never, never. Because during my school days, college days, I used to go in all kind of competitions, be it sports, be it extracurricular activities, whatever. I used to, be very inquisitive, learn new things, and try and execute them. But this lockdown, it was, it had disabled me to do any kind of good thing that would make me feel nice or the people around me feel nice. Because me being an extrovert, I always wanted to interact with people, entertain them, and things like that. I was packed in four walls, and how much would I entertain my mom and dad? So the lockdown somehow eased, and I stepped out of my house, bulked up. Because that was the first time in my life that I had gained. Because
Oh.
the kind of a personality that I was, I used to always, be here, be there, never at a place. I think a lot of audience would also connect to this. These kind of personalities, even, everybody has been during their childhood days.
Standard,
But the lockdown somehow it made you jailed. So I was all bugged up, and I wanted to do a lot of exercise. But the exercise things, those really somehow drove me to do a lot of cycling. That was the first thing
Okay.
that I did. With cycling, I went to treks. There was a childhood friend of mine, he took me there to a trek. uh, it was a crazy experience. In one stretch, he took me 60 kilometers. We did the trek.
Crazy.
We came back 60 kilometers. And 60 kilometers cycling is, and I'm like doing it after a long time, after a long lockdown.
Lockdown.
Oh, it was
Crazy.
tedious. I got my left leg, there was a muscle stretch.
Cramps, yeah.
But trust me, that muscle stretch was not a demotivation for me. That Sunday, I tell you, and I also remember the date. It was 26th July 2020. The day I stepped out of the house and I never came back. It was that way. The mountains became my friend. The cycle became my friend. I started pushing my endurance to whatever limits it can go. I was still a journalist then.
Okay.
I was working with a reputed organization. The way you're interviewing me, I was interviewing all the great actors that you see, all the celebrities, you know.
Oh, so
Those used to be my job. And then during the lockdown, I used to do these Instagram lives and things like that, where I used to interview them. Because still OTT and things were working somehow. So things were working, but they were very closed, and in a very closed way. But then when I came out in this, nature, I realized that this is what the life is supposed to be that I never knew about. And that's how it all began. One track, second track, third track, every Sunday. I used to work from Monday to Saturday and used to wait for the Sunday. And the Sunday used to feel like this is life. This is what makes me happy. And then it just kept going on, and then few friends, they started accompanying me. We were there in like 50 100 kilometers range, but then uh, all the forts around, all the hills around, all the lakes around, everything got covered. So what next?
Yeah.
I had to cross the boundary. I crossed the boundary. When I tell you the story, it's very fascinating.
Okay.
One fine day, I had a holiday from my office, and I thought, I'll use this for good. I went for two treks non-stop. Went for the third trek, and after the third trek, I thought that me choosing to go back home. My home was 60 kilometers from the place
Yeah.
that I'm talking about, and the next trek that I was thinking was 90 kilometers. It was 1:30 a.m. midnight. I took up the decision that I'll go to the trek, not back home.
Directly.
After 90 kilometers, I was like, let's go. I started walking midnight, okay? And because there was no transport there,
Crazy.
okay? Then I got few people who were going by scooty, and then I got a left in a carrier truck which had vegetables, early morning they go. That one, then, I somehow reached to Kalyan highway, and from the Kalyan highway, I got a truck lift. I told this person, can you take me to Kasara? He was like, Kasara क्या तेरे को तो कोलकाता ले चलूं.
क्या
I was like,
बात
damn, take me to Kolkata.
you
Yeah, from Mumbai to Kolkata straightway. I was,
crazy.
that was an impulsive
Yeah.
decision, and that really changed my life. absolutely changed it forever. The date was 4th January 2021, and there was no turning back. When I was going, um, so I was staying alone in a
Yeah.
part of Mumbai. I had my house, I had things, basic things, whatever I need, like furniture, your laptop, your television, your home theater system,
Yeah.
your AC, your TV, your
Everything. Yeah.
fridge, and things like that.
Like a very comfortable
Yeah, I
life
mean,
in
yeah, I
Bombay.
mean, just like
Yeah.
that. So I was staying alone, and when I was in this journey from Kalyan to Kolkata, I thought, this is so beautiful, this is so lovely. I don't want to return back. I called my friends. I told them, go break the lock of my house, rob away everything. I literally asked them, rob away everything. I don't need anything.
जो चाहिए ले लो.
जो चाहिए ले लो, ले जाओ सारा. मुझे कुछ नहीं चाहिए. I'm never returning back. This is what my sentence was. And I told my job people, हो गया.
Quitting.
अब बस हो गया. They said, oh, how can you live like that? So I had a lot of subordinates,
Yeah.
who were working for me, and when I am the person, if I am recording, if I am interviewing, I am providing the videos.
Yeah.
There's a team behind, right? And everybody was shocked, and I was like, thank you if you are, because I never desired to have a life of this sort where I'm working for somebody, making nice videos for them, they are earning, and trust me, the company that I was working with, I had given them a lot, and even on this podcast, even if you're saying I had given you a lot and you haven't paid me that well. So I was like, done. I don't want to live that kind of a life. So I chose my life.
Yeah.
I started for Kolkata, and from Kolkata it was towards the northern side of Bengal. There I met a lot of people. Spoke to them. Stayed with them. A lot of people were very curious. I had these long hair.
Crazy.
Looks were also very different. But then I didn't have a lot of things in my bag. I only had basic things that can help me survive in the forts of Maharashtra. A basic mat I had, very thin. And then I had a very thin blanket with regards to the climate here in Maharashtra.
Yeah.
But there in the month of January in Kolkata, or you say West Bengal, I was shivering literally. But I survived somehow. And then I managed to get a blanket from somebody, and so it's a friendship kind of a thing that you can actually build during the journey. That's what started somehow. And I got a lot of friends. People were curious, first of all, when they used to see me walking, and the ones who used to understand, they were like, oh wow, you were a traveler, huh? You're traveling, you're walking, you're taking lifts and things like that. They were very, very happy to see me. They used to, greet me with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They used to take me home. They used to ask me to relax and things like that. The ones who used to understand that what I'm doing, the ones who used to not, they used to ask me, seeing my bag, it was a rucksack bag. Huh?
Okay.
They used to ask me, what are you selling? And I used to tell them, laddu, khaoge. It was crazy nice, huh? Then I remember of a friend who used to do trekking with me here in Maharashtra itself when I had begun my treks in July, as I said, 2020. So she told me that, Rajat, I have my village in the north of Bengal where you can go relax for 2-3 days.
Yeah.
Huh? You're traveling too much.
थोड़ा अभी
थोड़ा आराम कर लो.
relax.
I was like, yeah, sure. I was actually looking for a place to rest a little because it was too much of a tedious journey. I did that. It was lovely. I stayed there for like 2-3 days. I enjoyed. I rested. I saw a lot of celebration, Durga Puja and things were happening at that time. So I was like, wow, lovely. So what should I do next? What I saw was I was staying in Batasi, and Panitanki was 500 meters, and Panitanki is the international border for India and Nepal.
Oh.
And I was like, I'm so close to Nepal. Let me go to the Northeast India later. because my initial
Yeah.
plan for going from Kolkata to the north of the Bengal was to take my right towards Northeast India. But somehow, when I thought that, when Nepal is so near, let me go say hi. So hitchhiking in India was very nice. मतलब ऐसा लग रहा था यार मजा आ रहा है. I'm getting to make new friends and people knew me. People knew my language. I knew their language somehow. They used to communicate in Hindi. The ones who were in rural areas,
Yeah.
they used to understand English and used to communicate in English in some urban cities.
Yeah.
But in Nepal, I was blank, absolute blank. First of all, along with the network, my mind flew. I was like,
Why?
so it was a sudden, different kind of an experience. I had never been to any international place,
Yeah.
no destination before that. So for me, it was definitely a surprise to cross the boundary of my nation, and that too without money,
Oh, penniless.
penniless. So I had survived these many days. It was nice because people around me. I used to
Yeah.
feel like home. But a new nation, oh, I was blank. I remember the time I was actually sweating during the winters. That was the pressure that I had on my mind.
Just so I'm getting this right, you went to another country without having anything in your pocket, without any plans, just to like discover.
Yeah, just to say hi to the nation. Sounds very weird, but very risky, yes. But then what I thought was that, I'll keep meeting people that I knew for sure. When I'm walking like 20 kilometers a day,
Wow.
it is sure thing that I'm going to meet hundreds of people. And in these hundreds, there are definitely at least 10 to 20
Yeah,
people who are
couple
going to
few,
offer
yeah.
me something. And, I only need 3 meals. Very simple, trust
Crazy,
me.
yeah.
But you have to
Numbers.
think that way. What is simple is people focus that you'll get 3 meals. But what people don't focus is you have to actually walk for 20 kilometers. Can you?
Every single day, just
Every
keep
single day.
going. Yeah.
And that too with a bag, and then you don't
Yeah.
know where you're going. You have to actually talk to people. I used to meet elderly people. I used to meet middle-aged people.
Yeah.
Then there used to be students. I used to ask them where should I go, and they used to guide me. And wonderful places I've been. Trust me, wonderful. I can actually bring up a whole podcast on my journey of Nepal, but let's just get it
Yeah.
short. It was nice.
Okay, let's do like 3 to 5 places that are offbeat in Nepal, or anyone that's going to Nepal. Any recommendations for
Yeah.
them?
I would say so. When I entered through, so it was Jhapa,
Okay.
a district there, which was beautiful. From Jhapa, it was Itahari Dharan. So Itahari Dharan is kind of a place which is like a ghat region,
Okay.
where you have to go. And there is Mool Ghat. Mool Ghat is the place.
Okay.
There, a river Koshi flows. And there is an ashram over there which is called as Vishranti Devi Ashram. You can go there, you can stay there. It's free.
Oh.
Okay, you'll get food. You'll get to stay there for 3 days. Free. You have to be
Crazy.
with, people there. You have to
Yeah.
speak to them. You have to entertain them if you can. You can give them gifts
Yeah.
if you can, or whatever.
Whatever
can
you
provide
want,
to them.
yeah, you can do some chores.
Yeah. They will not ask anything from
Yeah.
you, but yeah, they'll definitely give you 3 days of free stay and food.
Crazy.
The place is beautiful. What we are getting for free is the food and stay that we get at home as well.
Yeah. But where
That's
you
not the
are,
motivation. The
yeah.
motivation is that place is scenic. Through the mountains, there's a river flowing, and through the river is this ashram. Go there. It's wonderful. That is one. Then there is Koshi Tappu Wildlife Reserve, which is some
Okay.
kilometers away from this place. I think like 100 kilometers. Beautiful place. Then there is Janakpur. So like
Okay.
Ayodhya is the birthplace
Yeah.
of Lord Ram, Janakpur is the birthplace of Mata Sita. You go
Oh.
there as well. It's
Wow.
a wonderful place. Wonderful place. And apart from that, Kathmandu. When you go to Kathmandu, there is this Sindhuli Ghat. My God, the Britishers tried to annex Nepal, but they weren't, because the Sindhuli Ghat is majestic. It's crazy big. They had
Wow.
some, roller balls which had some thorns kind of a thing. How much ever, the Britishers tried, they used to always throw that ball and everybody would smash like chutney. So yeah, it was crazy. So that place, yes, of course. And then, so there is a great temple called as Pashupatinath in the Kathmandu, Nepal. That is a must visit. So if you go to Kedarnath and if you don't visit Pashupatinath, your journey is incomplete.
Oh,
Yeah. So going there is a must. Then in Nepal, you definitely have a few more regions that are must to be covered. That is Muktinath, wonderful place.
yeah.
Then you have Sagarmatha region, and in the Sagarmatha region, you're going to get to see the great Mount Everest.
Oh, speaking of Everest, you have a world record on your name for free Everesting, is it?
Yeah,
How did that happen? What is that about?
that happened after the trip. So it was, my friends were like, "यार बस कर यार, मतलब जान लेगा अपनी खुद किया हमारी." So when my journey, summed up, I came back and it was an open Everesting challenge. So a lot of people who know it, they know it, and the ones who don't, please search what it is. It's it's an endurance challenge where you can choose any hill, any mountain of your choice, and you have to take a measurement that what is the size of that mountain,
Yeah.
and then you have to calculate that how many rounds you will have to do to complete the size of the Everest. So I had a hill which was near to my house, and I did 150 rounds. One round takes like half an hour for normal people, but I was trying and making it shorter as much as I could, and I completed the whole 150 rounds in 26 hours 10 minutes, making it a world record, the fastest.
Crazy. So 150 times, like how much of that is like the times of Everest? Like, is it like a complete Mount Everest that you climbed, or is it
So it's complete Mount Everest up and coming down and plus.
crazy?
Yeah.
So you were in Nepal. You can see Mount Everest from there. Then how did your life go from there, Phil?
A lot of people, they were like, you are an Indian. Why are you in Nepal here when it's the time of Mahakumbh Mela? Mahakumbh Mela is not organized by any government or any organization or anybody. It is a very sacred gathering and the biggest and the largest gathering of the entire world. Nowhere such a gathering happens. Crores and crores of people gather to worship Lord Shiva, and they try and what say, they do their paschatap.
Yes.
I don't know what is the English word for
Yeah.
that. If English people even do that, I don't know. I'm not sure about that, but we Indians
Yeah.
do. So it's during the Mahakumbh Mela that is the time when the Jupiter completes its one revolution that takes 12 years. That is Mahakumbh Mela. That was happening in India, and I was there in Nepal, and those people were like,
क्या कर
if
रहा
we
है?
would have been in India, we would have been over there. What are you doing over here? And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Let me go. Bye. So that's when I came back because it was an absolute unplanned trip
Yeah.
that took me so long. I mean, literally crossed a country. I came back. I took my documents. I didn't even have my Aadhaar card with me. Trust me. Across the nation. I only showed them my Facebook ID and few good nice followers and everything. And I told them I'm a journalist. Please allow me in, and they allowed.
Crazy. Like no passport, no Aadhaar card, and you cross the border.
Nothing, absolutely nothing.
Wow, the courage that might have taken just to go and try, and you
Yeah,
never
the
know
human
what.
persona would always help you. The AI and everything would
Yeah.
be they'll come and go, but the human persona that you have
Yeah.
can replace everything. If you can go and speak to somebody, you can convince them, everything is possible. Across generation.
Crazy. Without anything.
Yes.
Yes.
And
So cool.
I didn't intrude the border. Yeah, there are places where because a lot of people here in the subscribers, the ones who are watching, they are going to tell me that, oh, it is very easy to, go
Yeah.
from India to Nepal. No, I went through the right way. I
No
didn't
donkey,
intrude.
guys. Right.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
no donkey way.
Yeah.
So when I came back to India, I went to have that, Kumbh, Mahakumbh Mela Snan, Shahi Snan. It is believed that, when the Samudra Manthan, there was a scene that people recall, where you know the
The,
nectar. I mean, I would say elixir
yeah.
was somehow dropped from the heaven, or you say from the sky,
Yeah.
and a few drops of it were dropped here in Haridwar. Okay, so that's where they say, if you go and dip, all your sins would be washed off, and you'll be all good to do nice things. And I was like, I believed in it, of course, because these things have been happening since ages, lakhs and crores of years. But then I thought, let me be a little more practical. Let me not just wash off my sins here and then go
Yeah.
back do all other sins
Yeah.
again, like other people would. They do. I mean, let me be very practical. I'm a very religious person, but then I felt, me, instead of staying here for like weeks and months or whatever, let me move a little ahead in my journey, and then I started to go towards Kashmir, and then
Okay.
Kashmir, and then the whole of my journey,
Yeah.
from Uttarakhand to a little few parts of Haryana, then Punjab, then Jammu Kashmir.
Yeah.
Came back from that way. Ladakh was closed at that time, I remember. Then few places. I was there around Delhi, and then I came to UP. I went to my birthplace. I said hi to my grandmother. And then I was like, when I said hi to her, I said, I got to know that the Ladakh roads are now open. And I thought, if I'll go complete the whole of my journey and then come back to Ladakh, it would be a little late. So what I did is I took up this small bag. Okay. So without money was a challenge.
Yeah.
But now I took a bigger challenge. This small bag with just one extra pair of clothes. Okay.
To Ladakh.
Yeah. And just one thin jacket. I went off to Ladakh.
Chal pade bas aise.
Chal pada. Without money. Everything is possible. You need to have that zeal and energy. And whenever people say without money, oh
Yeah.
no, hell no, nobody is welcoming me, that people are stopping their cars, and oh अच्छा आप निकले हैं सफर के लिए, आप ही हैं क्या वो महाराजा रजत शुक्ला? No, I'm not some महाराजा. Hello, nobody's waiting for me. It's a challenge, right? You'll have to go out, you'll have to work, you'll get money, right?
Yeah.
I worked and I got what I wanted. Whenever I wanted food, I worked. Whenever I wanted stay, I worked.
So speaking of like you working to survive, eat or do whatever it is during your entire hitchhiking journey, right? What all different kind of works did you do? Like, were there any odd jobs? Like, how did you survive during this entire journey of yours?
See, few things were very simple, but few days were very tough. So let's take for example, if a person is giving me a lift. So the first job that I did while my journey from Kalyan to Kolkata was that I became a khalasi of the truck driver.
A conductor.
Conductor, yeah. A helper, cleaner, whatever you call it as.
Crazy.
A journalist.
Yeah.
Turning
Being like a journalist working for some of the biggest news channels in India, in the nation.
Yeah.
To like being a khalasi or a conductor,
yeah,
traveling the entire nation.
That's how you actually have to forget your identity. Trust me, you'll be safe in your home. But when you go out without any identity in a new place where nobody knows you, you know nobody, you are absolutely uncomfortable, that's where the real journey is.
That's where you discover yourself as well.
Yeah, and then you realize that whether you're good or you're bad, you're good in what and you're how much good in that or whatever. You can be judged. You will be judged. You will know yourself better there. So yes, things were happening, and I had somehow lost my identity. I kept it backside. I didn't really want it to show it to the world that I'm some journalist who's let me be in your truck. He'll be like, go take some taxi. Journalist guy.
Yeah.
I wanted to be like the people, you know.
Yeah.
So simply, you know, with the truck, I became a khalasi. I've actually done farming with people,
Wow.
basic farming, you know, plowing and everything, every damn thing I've done. You know, apart from that, I've been to hotels where I have done hospitality, right? I've
Crazy.
done the job of a waiter, of a cashier, of a manager. I've done everything. It was a long journey. So there used to be times when I used to like a place a lot. So let's say, for example, Oroville. I love the place Oroville because not for a lot of reasons. It's very controversial,
Yeah.
anyways, because a lot of people do a lot of things in Oroville. But because there were people from a lot of countries over there, and somehow I wanted to know people and culture, it really drew me there.
Yeah.
And when I met these people, I was like, I'll stay here for a while. So I hunted for a job. I did a job of a hostel manager. I was
Okay.
managing two properties. One was a hostel, one was a homestay.
Okay.
And it was all good. I was meeting wonderful people, interacting with them. My food and my, stay was taken care. And I was also getting some money, which was just adding in my bank. I never needed it anyways. I worked there for like a month, and then again, one new city, one new job.
Crazy. So, so speaking of new cities and new things, there's a lot of controversy with Maldives and what's happening with Lakshadweep.
Interesting.
As you've traveled so much, any thoughts on that? Have you been to Lakshadweep?
So I was in Kerala, and I remember of me being at Wayanad when I had made up my mind that I'm going to go to Lakshadweep. And beautiful, trust me. When I had learned about Lakshadweep, I was like, damn, this place is in India. My God, I had learned about it. I mean, but just the way you people, the audience would know that what is Lakshadweep. But after Modi, had been there, the photograph and everything is in the bus, people are knowing about it. I studied it and I was like flattered. Okay, I said, let me give it a try. Let me go there. I went to the Lakshadweep administration office, which is in Kochi, Kerala. Okay. And I tried, I spoke to the people. They had a sports package section, where you had to pay like 50,000, 60,000 something. If I just want to go to a state, I literally, the whole entire nation I had done for free.
Yeah.
Nations actually. Why do I pay like 50,000 or 60,000 to visit an island?
Yeah.
Okay, I felt no sense in that, Then I asked them, what is the other way, if not this? Then they said, so that was Samudram packages, the ones that I was talking about, sports. Okay. And then the other was, if I can get a sponsor from the island, the ones who are staying, the local residents of Lakshadweep, if I can get a sponsor from them, potentially I can get a permit to get in. Not one, not two, not three. I had got tens of people who were ready to sponsor me, but still, our government, I love the government. They are doing very nice things. I'm happy that they're making Ayodhya Ram. I'm from Ayodhya. Hello, namaskar.
Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram. But I felt sad that I was, somehow it was so tedious to get into Lakshadweep. They helped me, how I tell you. The administration officer, Mr. Agarwal, as far as Ankit Agarwal, if you're watching, helped me. And he helped me, how I tell you. He didn't help me to get into Lakshadweep. He helped me to stay in Lakshadweep guest house for 12 days. He said, you wait, we'll get some reply. But we didn't get any reply. Now I have traveled a few countries, and the visa processes of the countries were not so tedious. The much it was tedious for me to step into Lakshadweep. I have still not been to Lakshadweep yet.
So it's that hard to go into Lakshadweep?
It's very tough.
Even if you just book a flight one way or return, you can't just get into Lakshadweep?
No, you have to have a permit. You cannot even board the flight if you don't have that permit. It's just the matter. If you go to a country, you have to have a visa, right?
Yeah.
Similarly with Lakshadweep as well. If you don't have a permit, your flight ticket will go waste.
Crazy. Didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Viewers watching on this. So speaking of Kerala, have you also been to Kanyakumari?
Yeah, that's a part of Tamil Nadu actually. So
Oh.
you cross Thiruvananthapuram, that is called Trivandrum by the Britishers.
Trivandrum,
Then
yeah.
they were not able to pronounce it very well. So yes, I had been to Thiruvananthapuram. I had visited the Padmanabha Swami temple, which is a very famous temple, very rich, one of the richest temple of the world. So from there, it's like a 60 kilometers road that you go to Kanyakumari. And yeah, that is highway NH60 meeting NH60, NH40, NH60 meeting NH40. This is the end point. From here you go towards. So when I went to Kanyakumari, I went straight to Ramanathapuram, which is Rameshwaram. I went there. I went to Dhanushkodi.
So you have been from like Kashmir to Kanyakumari.
Everywhere. I have been
28 states, all the union territories.
Yes,
the entire
everywhere. Only
and
this
he's
Russian-
like everywhere
everywhere.
without like any money in your pocket.
Absolutely. In fact, I was helped. I was helped everywhere. I have to admit that, and people were very lovely. But you have to make sure that your efforts have to be like 200%, and then you're going to get a help of like 5%. Just remember that. So the amount of help that you're going to get is very less.
Any advice for people watching this who also might want to do this? Like everyone wants to go traveling, hitchhiking. They don't do these kind of like things out there, right? What's the difference? Like
I tell you what, I find every small loaf of bread very tasty today. You know why? Because I have strived very hard to get that.
there have been days where
Yes.
that would have been like.
I can actually tell you an instance that I remember of Mizoram where I had survived only on berries. Okay. And, few citrus fruits and, this raw bananas with so many seeds in it. I was just surviving them. And, I used to drink the water from the waterfall in Mizoram. And that was a week. I didn't had any food. And no non-veg, okay? I was not killing any insects or animals. I survived on the things that the Mother Nature gives us. And it is possible. You can do it. But provided you need to be that strong from the mind, your willpower has to be very strong. You shouldn't give up. Your body will help you, your mind will help you. But it's just that you need to be prepared with everything.
So it's all in the mind.
Yeah. And you definitely have to be prepared that you'll have to sleep anywhere. You have to be prepared with that in the mind. You have to, encounter good and bad people as well. You have to be very clear with that. You're going to have sleepless nights. You're going to have very tiring days. You have to be prepared with all the endurance challenges. And then you can think of the perks. Oh, okay, hitchhiking is free.
Yeah. Speaking of endurance, what kind of endurance training you used to do to be able to survive all this?
So I would say this all started way back when I used to do a lot of trekking, cycling, swimming. Swimming was really a helpful thing for me. I love swimming. You can ask me to swim for hours and hours. I can do like swimming marathons. Seriously.
Like in open water oceans?
Yeah, open. I can swim everywhere. I have swimmed everywhere. What are you saying? I've swimmed everywhere. Every river of India I have swum. Every river of Nepal I have swum. Not just so the Arabian Sea. Then the name given by the invaders, it is called as Saurashtra Sagar. If you guys knew or if you didn't know, the Saurashtra Sagar.
Okay.
I've swum there. I've swum in the Lakshadweep Sea, the sea in which the Lakshadweep is. I've swum in the Great Indian Ocean, which has no waves. If people didn't know about
I
this,
didn't know that.
It has no waves. It looks like a lagoon. The Indian Ocean is beautiful. You go towards Dhanushkodi, I was seeing Rama Setu right in front of me. It was so beautiful. Damn.
You can see Ram Setu?
Yes. To the naked eyes, you can see Ram Setu.
It's there physically.
It's there physically, yes.
Where, like, I to think that is a trip alone worth it just to go
Yes,
and
yes,
see it
and the
out.
water is like blue. It looks like a lagoon. You go to Dhanushkodi, it is better than Maldives in itself. Go to
Wow.
Dhanushkodi.
Modi ji.
Yeah, you see the water is perfect. There are no waves. You can actually walk. So because see the density of the water is less than the density of the salt. So any which ways the swimming in the sea becomes easier. You should know basic swimming, of course.
Yeah.
You'll actually be able to cross from India to Sri Lanka if you are a good swimmer. If somebody allows me, I am ready.
Whoa.
Yeah, and so I would say Dhanushkodi was definitely a wonderful place that I had been and I had swum there. There's a place called as Bilondi Tirtham. Okay, it is believed that Mata Sita, while returning back from Sri Lanka, she felt thirsty and they could not find fresh water. So Lord Ram had actually taken his bow and arrow and had digged a place in the sea and had removed pure drinkable water, sweet water,
Wow.
and that place is still there. If anybody who
Wants
claims
to
to
go
be a
explore.
scientist, you scientists know nothing, having literally nothing, not even 10% of what our nation, our people, back then
Used to
had
know.
done.
Yeah.
And we consider them as god because they had led a beautiful life as humans. Rest for me, Bhagavan is Bha for Bhumi, Ga for Gagan, the sky, Va for Vayu, that is the air,
Yeah.
For Agni, that is the fire,
Fire.
and Na for Neer, that is water.
All
So
the five
Bhagwan
elements.
is absolutely the nature, right? And Devta and the ones you want to worship are actually within us. When we say Namaste, it's not some hello. Hi, no, it's nothing like that. When we say Namaste, we first bow down. And Namaste means Naman Karna, yani ki the one, the God that is within you, I am saying, I'm doing Naman to him.
Oh.
That's a culture that I come
Yeah.
from. And that's what I represent. And I thought, why do I go international and show how rich I am and boast of
Yeah.
when I know nothing about my own country? So is the reason, I first began to see all the cultures of my country, all the languages, all the people, all the terrain, every kind of
Crazy.
terrain.
Speak.
India has got every terrain.
There is a saying that every 100 kilometers or some ranges, language changes, the
Everything.
way people dress changes, the way people eat changes, the culture changes. So, how was that like traveling across all of India? Which were like some of the best places you have been to? What were like, which have been your like best experiences, and how did you deal with it?
I would say every day was beautiful. And it's to be like a challenge first. But the challenge, when accomplished, used to give me a sigh of relief and, some happiness, of course, with that. I believe that, nothing can be compared with one. Okay. We have in India places where people are short in height. We have people with extraordinarily great heights.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys can decipher what I'm saying. Okay. You have people with fair skin tone. You have
Yeah.
people with dusky
Ah.
skin tone. You have people with dark skin tone. You have places which are plateau. You have places which are hilly. You have places which are mountainous. You have places which are, desert. You have four types of deserts just in Rajasthan itself. You have the coldest desert of the world in Ladakh. What do you need? You have it all in India.
Crazy. What were like some of your best experiences you had throughout this whole journey?
See, it would be really unfair of me saying one was good or one was better,
Yeah.
the other was the best. It would be really unfair. But yes, few things were very fascinating. One, me crossing from Manali. If you remember when I had said I was going to Ladakh with this small bag, I literally had nothing, and there was an auto driver who had helped me. I had asked him, I want to work. because I had to buy a sweater because the journey after that was very tough. I had to literally walk for like 60 kilometers or 100 kilometers, then find one house or two houses or some hamlets, small hamlets, smaller than villages, hamlets. So the journey was going to be very tough, very challenging, like fatal. You're going to die if you do not, cross the journey
Yeah.
well. So that challenge I had taken, and that too without money and without a sweater, damn.
Yeah.
The auto driver had helped me, and he said that if it doesn't, you know, affect you, I can give you my sweater. When I used to be thin like you. I was like, thank you. I took that sweater and I went, and I remember of me walking on Baralachala. Okay, Baralachala is 16,500 feet, where people, when they step out of their cars, because the oxygen level is so low, even within 5 minutes, people, they felt dizzy,
Yeah.
or they feel the lack of oxygen, and they, somehow drown. But me,
You walked through the entire
terrain, 16,500 feet. I was walking. I reached till the border from Baralachala to, literally, because I had got no lift from there. Okay, I reached till the border. And the border was in, so it was, I think, before Pang, if I remember. So this place was the border of Himachal Pradesh and Ladakh, entry in Ladakh.
Okay.
The army people were, the ones who had barricaded and were, the checkpost and everything.
Yeah.
They were asking me, "Where's your bike?" I'm like, "Find it." They didn't believe their eyes that there's actually a human who has walked this impossible terrain, and I had reached there. That was the entry of Ladakh. Very fascinating, right?
Crazy.
And then I visited a village. So it was somewhere near Pang itself, if I recollect, where it was believed, it is still believed. There's some Nat Geo documentary as well on that, where it's believed that they are very isolated, and 300 kilometers this way and 300 kilometers this way, there are no human connections. And there used to be a village where fairies, literally fairies, had been there, and they had mated with the normal humans, and they had produced kids, and those kids are mesmerizing. I had seen them.
Is it
I've
like,
seen-
what do you think about it?
So I was mesmerized to a level that I didn't even click a photo of theirs, so that you can imagine. So I knew about the place. I went there. I saw the kids. I was so mesmerized that I passed from there. Okay, and then I thought, why didn't I click a photo even? So you can imagine the level of my mesmerization that had happened.
Just blown away.
Blown, absolutely blown. I was like, are these even humans? They had colorful eyes. Okay. Now, if there is some geographical phenomena, I would ask Ned Geo to again go and
Yeah.
do some research. And if people are doubtful about what I'm speaking, they can go watch that documentary. It will tell you about it.
I don't know where I read this, but I read like a lot of like women from different countries come to that region just so
Yeah.
they can
That's
meet.
another part of that's near Kargil. I've been there as well. That's another part. But yes, that's true as well.
Yeah, because the
Very
people
beautiful
like
people.
males are very tall, very beautiful, colorful
Yeah.
eyes, and
Yeah.
all of that.
True. And then I remember of me exiting from Ladakh, and that was also very scenic. And I tell you how. I was walking from Myanmar to Sonmarg. Okay, and that was actually the entry from Ladakh to Kashmir. Okay,
Yeah.
and in between was Jozila Pass.
Rosella
I
Pass.
had walked from morning 6. I was walking all the way, and it took me around 8.5 hours to pass 35 kilometers. Impossible terrain. It was impossible terrain. Okay, I reached
Damn.
there, and I was watching everything. That place was such. And I was watching Pakistan right that side. I was watching, Air Force planes going up from me, ice-clad mountains. My God, I
I'm
was in some
just
other world.
I'm just thinking right now that if you're biking through, riding through, or just going in a car, that's different. But if you're just walking, so
Ah.
much time you have to observe.
Absolutely. You get engrossed in it totally. You have all the time to get engrossed in it. You are a part of it. You don't pass by.
Beautiful.
You're a part of it when you walk. So while I was doing that, when I reached Baltal camp, okay, the Sormark thing that I said, I think somewhere near Pahalgam it is. Baltal is somewhere there. The camp, the army camp. When I reached there, the army people were all ready to welcome me. They were like,
You live with them?
walking. We know you are walking since 6 a.m. in the morning.
Oh,
Now we have
Aja.
walked too much. Come have some food. They had actually organized nice food for me. Like
you
this-
broke bread with
Yeah.
them, khana khaya, sab
Ah, and I have recorded videos with them. If you really are interested to watch my
We'll
videos,
put
go
links
search.
in the description. Yeah.
Rajat Shukla, you have a lot of videos. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can actually
Yeah, we'll put
use
some
the clips
clips,
if you
yeah.
want. So wonderful. Amarnath Yatra happens through that Baltal camp, the place where I had been. So beautiful it was.
Interesting.
And even they were unable to believe that they were like, even in the toughest trainings that we have had in the army, we never even thought of doing such a tedious terrain, walking.
And all by yourself, not even like you have
Absolutely.
a backup,
And
friends,
that to empty stomach.
empty stomach, penny.
Yeah.
So many, like just one on
Yeah.
top of each other.
It was beautiful. And the journey went on, and every state I have stories. And not one, numerous.
Speaking of stories, some days are as good as you say, but some might be even worse. A lot of other incidents might have happened. What are some of your stories on the other end of the spectrum?
So, Ahmednagar was a tragic thing for me. The person stopped, gave me a lift, and he was sharing that, he had somehow broken his bike. I was like, hota hai yaar, koi nahi. And he was like, kya hota hai? Tu bhar ke dega kya? मेरे को क्यों बोल रहा है? I was like, I don't want to get into the mess. Okay, it was 8 p.m. already. It was dark. And, dark is the time when actually devils, wake. So I said, my mama is waiting for me. Drop me down. And he was like, he took me down and then he took a right from the bridge. And I was like, oh my God, today I am gone, or something difficult is going to come my way. So, I thought he's going to rob me or something. He was asking money. And, somehow at the time when he took a ride, I came across a place which was a little not right nice road. I jumped off. And I saw a truck driver and I was like, he's going to help me or something like that. That was just one person. And actually, I had reached to the destination where I was not supposed to. There was 7 to 8 people coming ahead. His gang people, and they were trying to, somehow, try and remove something from me. But luckily, the local language helped. Again, the human persona helped. I tried and told them, Kai he, Mitlat say. This means that, I'm from here itself. What is doing? What is this? What is this behavior? Then they were like, okay, maybe he's from here itself. So that language and human persona helped me again. And somehow I survived that situation and saved myself. But it was a mess of like a half an hour thing, which is definitely a lesson that you should not travel when it's dark.
Yes.
But a different scene happened when I was crossing Varanasi and was entering Bihar. I was going towards Patna. And mind you, what a place. I was scrolling through the map. Okay. I was just scrolling and somebody just bumped into me, snatched my phone and said, hi, welcome to Bihar. I was welcomed like anything in Bihar. Phone snatched. I thought, should I go back home? Because it was, I think, 19 states done then. Should I go back home, come back some other time or something like that? That was one option. The other option was let's go continue the journey without phone. And I chose the second one. I completed my journey without phone then.
All of it. And so all the 28 states, you did it in one go.
One go. It was 405 days. You remember I told you that, I told my friends go rob my house.
Yes.
They had actually dispersed everything. And my friends are absolute shameless. They gave me no money.
As they should.
So I completed my journey from 19 states to all the 28 states
Without the phone.
without the phone, the later part.
How
That was
did
much
that
challenging.
go? Like, what
That
were the
was more
challenges?
beautiful. That was more, I would say it was meditation. You know why? Because I didn't had any diversion, any kind of problems where, I have to focus on some social media, see
Yeah.
who's dancing and who's laughing or what controversy is happening. I was detached. The only thing that I had to focus was the journey, were the places, were the people. Beautiful. My journey without the phone is something that I now advise all my people to do. If you really want to learn something, take a challenge of 1 month. If not 1 month, 1 week. If not 1 week, 1 day. Leave your phone, leave your wallet, just go out of your house, go somewhere. And when you go, you'll definitely have to come back as well, right?
Yeah. You'll figure it out.
You'll definitely do it. Be it a boy, be it a girl. You will do it. Because now I'm going to tell you about life. People will have a question that, oh, you were a journalist. What was the problem? Why did you leave? And things like that. Why was I a journalist? The question comes in the mind, right? Because I loved to speak to people. I was expressive. I wanted to learn things. I wanted to present it. That was what I wanted, right? I wanted to travel, see cultures. And journalism job was giving me that. True. But how much? Peanuts. I thought, chuck it. Let me do what I really like to do and I love to do. I left the job and I started interacting with the real.
Without any motive, no agenda, just going
No
out there.
filters. These celebrities are talking all filters. What you see on the camera
Yeah.
is barely 5% of their personalities. 95% they're going to talk fake. All scripted. When I'm saying 100% honest people, when you don't have money, you won't have ornamental kind of behavior
Yeah.
from people. No 5-star treatment, because 5-star, oh yes, welcome sir, how are you doing today? Oh, have a good flight. That's all fake.
Yeah.
When you have no money, then if somebody is coming to you, you must be hungry. Come to me. I'll cook for you. That's the real behavior that you would definitely not get with any money.
Someone would be like, "Ghar nahi hai? Aaja chal, aaj mere saath."
Absolutely.
Real.
Absolutely. That's the real. I mean, a travel without money is a real travel. A travel with money is not a travel.
It's just a tour.
It is a tour,
Yeah.
or you better say that it is a plan that is just going according to
vacation.
your way.
Yeah.
If it is going your way, it is not a travel. It has to go the way people and the terrain and the geography is taking you. And of course, about life, I tell you, there is a limit to everything. Yeah. I love Rasagulla. Yeah. One I have, oh, I love it. Before having it, I'm all excited. After having it, I'm like, wow, I had something nice. But when I have two, I feel like puking. Right? When I have three, I puke. When I have four, I actually fell sick. When I have five, the same rasgulla that, was charging my taste buds has now become what?
Yeah.
What? Poison.
Yes.
Right? So these are all limited. All the materials that you see in the world are limited. How much would you eat? How much would you eat? End of the day, your stomach would need a very small proportion of food in reality. How much of a big house you have, trust me, when you're sleeping, if you don't have stress, it's only when you're going to get to sleep, right? And once you sleep, you only need 6/2. That's a very general statement, but trust me, that's true. You stay in a chawl, you stay in a mansion only when you are stressed less. Only then you're
A mansion in here.
Yeah. So that's it. That's the reality of life. I have experienced Lamborghini like experience sitting on Hero Honda Splendor Plus. You know why?
Why?
Because the comfort, if you're always in comfort, you sit in Lamborghini, you won't get that comfort. But if you're walking the whole day, walking the whole week, you sit on a Hero Honda Splendor Plus, you feel like Lamborghini. When you have, you know, been empty stomach for a lot of days, and you know you're barely getting something, somebody's just offering you tea or something, and then you get very simple dal chawal roti sabzi. Trust me, you would feel like heaven. You would feel that the 7-star food doesn't match the level, right? When you have had the most uncomfortable situations of life, traveling the most adventurous way that I have done, walking through all kind of terrains, and you just find a place where you just keep your mat and you sleep, that kind of a life. One day when you come back home, a simple sofa feels like the 7-star suite home.
Yeah.
So I am the richest in the world. I tell you why. I am not claiming I am, and I tell you why. Because when you own nothing, you are open to everything. When you own something, indirectly that something is owning you. You'll always be in stress. My Lamborghini is waiting outside. I'm so much stressed. Damn, somebody would go and come, somebody would go there, put a scratch on it. I'll be always stressed.
Yeah. Maintain and this.
Right? I came, from this way, hitchhiking. Somebody just stopped me. I'm not
for this episode.
Yeah, I lead a life of this sort. Today, at this very moment of time, with this particular attire and the things that I have, these many resources, so first thing I'll do is, I have a ring, I'll just sell it off and I'll just try and go somewhere. Or, whatever, anything is possible. Anything is possible. Well, I won't sell this ring because I'm engaged and my fiance will kill me. But yes, life goes on. Yeah. Life goes on. जिंदगानी 4 दिन की है, बोलने को है लंबी, इसको गुजारना है, काटना है या जीना है, ये आप पर है. So until next time, it's me, Rajat Shukla.
Guys, here's an idea. If you want to hear more of his stories, while we are experiencing something absolutely unplanned out in the wild, whether it's hitchhiking or in the nature, just comment your ideas below, and whatever the most like comment is, we'll go do what maybe another episode sometime, hear more of his stories, because it's not gonna it's not enough to do it in one podcast. I feel like even if we do a couple of them, still not gonna be enough. Like, there's so much to learn from this guy. It's absolutely amazingly cool. You have all his social media and every single link in the description. And if you want to watch more of such episodes, subscribe to Cool Chats Club. Thank you. Peace out.
We're the Cool Chats Club, we're breaking the mold. Cool ain't superficial, it's a mindset to behold. We're changing the game with every word we say. Cool is how we think, it's time to pave the way.